Hi guys, so I've recently got into painting Space Marines, mainly for the Warhammer 40k chess set that I recently built. And obviously one thing I've noticed from looking online and looking at Google and looking at sort of local game shops, and that is, well, there seems to be lacking in female Space Marines. I mean, they may be female in some of these suits, I guess, you just can't tell. So I thought I'd have a go at making a fun female Space Marine that, well, yeah, would definitely be female. So I've got quite a lot of leftover bits and pieces. I've got a bits box full of, obviously, well, bits and pieces. But I'm now trying to keep a lot of the leftover bits still on the sprues, just because it makes it easier to sort of see them and see what I've got, really. So yeah, I've got a variety of Space Marine bits, but obviously I need the female part. And for that, I've gone online. I've gone to My Mini Factory, as well, I go quite a bit. And there's a great model maker that goes by the name of Twin Goddess Miniatures. I have sort of 3D printed and painted quite a few of the figures from this person, and yeah, this is one that obviously, well, as you can see, is definitely a lady looking sort of model. So yeah, I 3D printed that on my Anycubic Photo Mono X, and this is what I've got, and they come out the same size as the Space Marines, which is pretty cool. And then yeah, a bit of kit bashing, in this case decapitating. So yeah, off with the head, the legs and the arms. The only problem though with cutting the 3D printed stuff, the resin, is sometimes it cuts and sometimes it kind of just snaps and breaks away. So that's why I was sort of trimming little bits off at a time rather than going straight in for the bit I wanted off, just in case, well, too much cracked. So yeah, trim it a little bit as we go. Obviously cutting up the bits box, bits and pieces off the sprues is obviously normal plastic, so it cuts nice and easy. But yeah, the resin can sometimes snap. But yeah, little by little we've got there, obviously trimming off the bits that I needed. And then yeah, going through my bits box, say I've got, obviously, as you can see, a few sort of legs semi put together, and one of them's been, well, been cut down. I'm not too sure what I was doing with that one. And then yeah, a variety of bits and pieces, and then it's a case of trying to obviously get everything to line up. So yeah, starting with the legs, it'll be easier to sort of like build the thing upwards. I'm going to use these legs, just need to do a bit more trimming where obviously the printed model is going to meet onto the legs. So yeah, again, snipping away, but snipping away little bit by little bit, and then doing any little sanding afterwards, and using my scalpel as well. I kind of use that to try and scrape away the little bits, just to try and get everything to, well, line up nicely. And then once I was happy with everything, yeah, just a case of doing a bit of gluing. So as you can see, obviously this isn't going to be a figure that I'm going to actually use to sort of play any games with, and that's why I'm going to actually put them on a yeah, a Warhammer 40k base, which is quite rare for me. But say, yeah, this figure is just purely sort of decorative looking, although it would make for a fun kill team figure. But yeah, you see a little card that I make up at the end of it, just again as a fun sort of kill team figure sort of piece. So yeah, glue it to the base, makes it easier then to sort of glue everything else on. Yeah, again, I didn't want to really put any weapons on this figure, as my thinking is this is going to be, well, like a siren. So just purely by pointing at a figure, she could do damage or giving them the kiss of death. And yeah, most bits are on now. I say everything sort of lined up really well. So I was quite pleased that there wasn't too much in a way of sort of gaps, even though I do use a little bit of green stuff later on, just to tidy it all up, really. So this Space Marine doesn't have a lot of well, a lot of armour or clothes on, but I think they still need the good old power packs. We'll put that on as well. And then yeah, say the gaps. There really wasn't that many gaps. So I was very pleased with how everything did sort of go together. But just to make it easier when I come to paint it, because that's probably when you'd notice any gaps more. Yeah, using a little bit of green stuff, and just to give her a little bit of a front cape, just to hide more of her modesty more than anything on this one. But plus she does have the sort of the cape or skirt at the back, so it made sense having mine at the front as well. So while I am doing the green stuff on that, I just want to say a big shout out and thank you to all my lovely patrons for helping support the channel, and my sponsors Easy Roller Dice and Anycubic. There are links obviously in the description where you can go and check out the products from them, and I do have sort of discount codes as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, pretty much all done, and obviously we're going to paint this in a good old slap chop style of painting. So yeah, we'll get this little model primed in black. So I'm still absolutely loving this technique, as yeah, it is making me want to obviously paint certainly more figures, and to do some obviously kit bashing. but I am soon going to be doing some dioramas, guys. Mainly Warhammer 40k sort of scenes. I've got a few that I've earmarked and started already. But yeah, guys, if you know of any sort of special events in Warhammer 40k or special scenes that you may have seen somewhere, I've been looking on Pinterest mainly. But yeah, I do want to make some more sort of dioramas and do a bit of kit bashing with some figures. So yeah, keep an eye out for them videos, guys. And so yeah, leave all comments down below. Let me know if there's a specific sort of specific scene or set that yeah, you think I should have a look into and possibly make. So again, usual thing, I absolutely love it when I do the white dry brushing. I just love the look of the figures in this sort of style. And I do actually have a kill team that I painted purely like this. They've all got skulls, so they look kind of like deadly, sort of spooky sort of things anyway. And yeah, just absolutely love how this looks. And then knowing that the speed paints or contrast paints are going to go on really well, yeah, it definitely has really given me a great enjoyment of making these kind of things. So with the dry brushing, I use sort of like a mid-range sort of grey, and obviously any white that I've got. And I've started using these new brushes that were sent to me by Warzone Studio. Yeah, mini war paints. There's a link in the description to these guys. Yeah, so far really happy with how the brushes have sort of turned out. And then yeah, straight onto the old good old speed paint. I'm using the Army Painter, and yeah, it is a case of just getting this all over. Obviously these guys are primarily blue, although this little lady obviously is going to have a bit of flesh shown. I don't have any speed paints for the flesh, or I do have one, but it's very dark. I am hoping to get a lot more sort of speed paint or even contrast paint soon, just because I do find it quite limited. Some of the ones I've got, well, obviously I kind of want more. And yeah, especially obviously with Army Painter, they are bringing out a whole new range soon that will be including lots of metallic paint. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I certainly want to get some more contrast paints as well. So yeah, just painting this on nice and easy, nice and quick. This little miniature, well, the blue bit certainly didn't take long. I did take a little while over the skin colour, and you will see at the end I actually do some highlights for the first ever time. I yeah, do a bit of highlighting on the model, which is quite rare, but I think it did make a bit of a difference. So I will be doing that more often now. Don't forget, guys, I will be down at Chaos Cards in Folkestone a week this Saturday. So the 21st of January, I will be going down to Chaos Cards and taking my Warhammer 40k chess set that I've just completed. And yeah, I think we're looking at doing a mini painting session. So guys, if you want to come down, see me, see the chess set, and yeah, join me in doing a little painting, then yeah, January the 21st, I'm going to be down at Chaos Cards in Folkestone in Kent. And it'd be great to see some of you guys down there. I appreciate quite a few of you guys are out in America, and as much as I would love to go to America with the chess set, obviously for the moment I'm just sticking with well, the UK. So yeah, obviously the painting, I've got quite a few sort of normal flesh tones, although I must admit on the screen this is definitely looking more yellowy than it actually does in real life. Not too sure why it's coming out quite like that. But trust me, it does look a lot better than that, yeah, sitting here on my desk. So yeah, going to do a bit of highlighting. Watching a few videos recently on painting Space Marines. Just have a little look, sort of see what other people do. So I'm not doing a whole lot here. It literally is doing a light blue on all the edges. So yeah, I'm not going too mad. I just want to do a little bit to sort of see how it looked. And yeah, I was pretty pleased with how the end result looked. So obviously I do love speed paints and contrast paints. They definitely do a lot of the work. But yeah, I think just highlighting some of the edge panels on the Space Marine just sort of like helped differentiate one panel to the other. As the skin was obviously a solid colour, I'm going over it with a nice soft skin wash just to add some shadows into it and to make it obviously look a bit more, well, kind of natural, I guess. But then once I do actually do the wash, once that's dried, I do go over it a little bit with some more of the original skin colour, just to add some sort of, again, some highlights into it. And there we go. I'm pleased with how my female Space Marine has come out. I think she's certainly one of a kind. So the last thing to do, and that is to put on the decals. I've got quite a few of these left over as well. It's only recently I've started actually using decals. So yeah, I've got quite a few. So the way I put them on, I don't know if this is the best way, the right way, but it's definitely my way. I have to dunk them in some water for a little bit, and then they're ready to sort of like slide off. As you can see, my blade needs changing on my scalpel. I've had this for quite some time, and it is, yeah, it's blunt, dirty, and got glue all over it, but it still does the job. So yeah, it's just a case of getting the decals in the kind of position you need. I will get a cotton bud to sort of get the excess water off, and then using some micro salt. I love this stuff, as this softens up the decals and just makes it easier for them to sort of like wrap round shapes. And as these are obviously going on the pauldrons that are kind of rounded, yeah, you put a little bit of this on, you let it dry, and then you do it again. And I normally do it 2 or 3 times, and that seems to be enough to soften up the decal so it sort of fits really nicely. And this is how she looks when she's all done. So, would you like to have a full space army of female space marines? Yeah, I think it'll certainly distract the other team. Although I reckon it'd be fun to make a kill team out of these. Although I'm kind of thinking you'd only need one. Be a Siren Warrior. She's got the Deadly Finger Point, which would instantly stun people. Deadly Kiss, which would be an instant death. And also special ability, anyone who looks upon her, well, again, they're stunned. Okay, guys. I'm going to leave it there. Let me know in the comments what you thought of my little space marine, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.